MSC's virtual poster tour. This poster is titled Changes in Dietary Habits of Individuals Living with Multiple Sclerosis Enrolled in a Day Wellness Program. I'd like to introduce the presenter, Zoe Edwards. She is Outreach Education Coordinator at Dignity Health Multiple Sclerosis Achievement Center in Sacramento, California. Welcome, Zoe.
Thank you so much for having me.
There's a lot of interest among people with MS about diet and whether diet can affect their MS symptoms and disease progression. As a dietary educator for people with MS, what can you tell us about this?
So there hasn't been enough research to show that a specific diet can affect MS symptoms or disease progression for all individuals living with MS. So as a nutrition educator for people living with MS, I encourage individuals to find what works best for them. I know people with MS are tired of hearing that, but it's true, particularly with diet. Individuals might find that certain foods or meal patterns help them have more energy or reduce their symptoms, but it truly is different from person to person. What I recommend is that people track what they eat. Not necessarily in the sense of using an app to count calories or nutrients, but just simply writing down what they eat, the timing, and how they feel can make a huge difference. They'll start to see patterns appear to be able to see what foods help them feel their best and what would be the most successful diet for them to follow.
Okay, tell us a bit more about the weekly program at the MS Achievement Center.
So members of the MS Achievement Center, they attend a weekly program that addresses physical, cognitive, and social well-being. We have 2 weekly programs that are either 5 hours or 2.5 hours long. Members come on a specific day, so we have like a Tuesday group, a Wednesday group, etc., to build community or family feel. And while they're at the center, members participate in individual exercise in the gym, cognitive exercises primarily on iPads. We have opportunities for members to do yoga, emotional wellness, extra nutrition education in smaller groups, as well as some games. We also do varying education on different topics each week, whether it's group conversations recapping a webinar, we have a music therapist come in, we have an MS nurse come in on a quarterly basis for a Q&A session, and as mentioned in our poster, we do monthly nutrition education for all members.
Okay, so your research project was looking at changes in dietary habits among people who were undergoing this education. And what has your research found so far?
So we've used the Rate Your Plate, which is a 27-item questionnaire that looks at food frequency and choices that individuals are making. Looking at the average total scores, we've seen an increase from baseline to 12 months. Our members take this questionnaire. Our plan is for every 6 months, so we've been able to completely get 3 data collections or 12 months worth. The Rate Your Plate scores are on a scale of 27 to 81, with higher scores meaning that individuals are making healthier decisions or healthier choices. Our average total score went from a 58.93 at baseline to a 63.8 at 12-month mark, with over 80% of our participants seeing an increase in total scores. What I've heard from many of our members is that they are more aware and more mindful of their choices. As I discussed in the conclusion on our poster, some people have written notes on their questionnaires or made comments when they've handed them back to me that they know the higher sugar desserts are not the right choice, so they've decided to reduce the amount of times that they have dessert each week rather than reducing the types of desserts they have. So that might not necessarily be reflected on their scores, but they are being more mindful of their choices.
Let's talk a little bit about the health effects of sugar.
Okay. So sugar is something that I'm actually known for discussing around the MS Achievement Center, as I help our members visualize the amount of sugar in their food and drink by putting it into the number of packets that they're consuming. So 4 grams of sugar is equivalent to 1 of the sugar packets that you see at the coffee shops or that you can buy at the store. Having something that people can relate to or understand better helps them see why the changes might need to be made. We definitely know that sugary diets can cause weight gain and increase diabetes risk, but it can also increase the risk of cancer, heart disease, and can lead to fatty liver. Just because an individual has MS, we say, your box isn't checked, or it doesn't mean that you can't get other comorbidities or have other health conditions. Sugar has also been linked to an increased risk of depression and can drain energy as it fluctuates energy levels more drastically, which is something that's already a challenge for people living with MS. So trying to manage added sugars is definitely something that we focus on.
Interesting. And finally, what is the number one piece of advice you provide to people with MS who want to make steps to improve their diets?
I know that it sounds a little cliche particularly with multiple sclerosis, but figuring out what works best for you. With MS, there's so much that we can't control, but what you choose to nourish your body with is something that you do have the control of. So finding the way that it works best for you. So if you find that you are fatigued after dairy, maybe reduce or eliminate dairy from your diet and see if that helps. But always give yourself at least 3 weeks when you are making a dietary change to see if it truly is making a difference in how you feel.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. It's really been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you so much for taking the time.